Hello everybody, welcome to EduTap, and I also welcome you all to the government scheme session in which we cover all the schemes which are important from your examination perspective. And how do we decide so, right? So see, any scheme, if it has been recently launched or it has been in news for past 3 to 4 months from your examination, or to be on the safer side, 6 months from the examination, those becomes very important from the examination perspective. And in our last session we understood about the Gramodyog Vikas Yojana, like Khadi, we understood about Gramodyog Khadi Vikas Yojana. So there's a scheme that is running by the Ministry of MSME, right? So in that we covered the overall about scheme, and then we understood that there are three components of that, right? And today we are focusing on the specific component Khadi Vikas Yojana. We will understand a little bit more about the scheme, but before that, here's an announcement for all the aspirants who are preparing for central regulatory bodies. We have come up with one-stop solution guide to all the queries that you must be having regarding the organization you want to join. For example, if you want to know more about RBI NABARD SEBI, then all the information has been provided here, along with how many different departments are there, what will be your role once you join the organization, and what not. All the information. Apart from that, all about the recruitment process. So how many phases are there? What is the eligibility criteria? And all about the details of phase 1, phase 2, and interview phase. What sort of questions are asked? What are the previous year cutoff? What is the syllabus? And all such information are comprehensively provided, so that there is no question that is left inside your mind, and you can just start off with the preparation. On that note, let's start off with the scheme. So last time we did it was Khadi Udyog and Khadi Vikas Yojana, right? Gram Udyog and Khadi Vikas Yojana. In that we understood that this is an overall scheme which is focusing on three factors. One is Gram Udyog. We understood that Gram, it means village, and Udyog means any business that you're doing, right? So what can be this udyog or business in the rural area? So we understood about the rural electrification, the toys that are made up of wood, etc., right? All these things we understood that this particular component of the overall scheme, the umbrella scheme that we have, Gram Udyog and Khadi Vikas Yojana, one was focusing on Gram Udyog, another was on the grant. So basically whatever money that will be required for the allocation, for the distribution, everything, for that we have a separate component, right? And one was the Khadi Vikas Yojana. And here this is one that we are going to discuss in detail today. We have understood about it a little bit in the previous section, but there was some data which were there, and I wanted to have a separate session on this so that you do not get confused with the data, right? Because in last class also there was a lot of information that was there, right? So in Khadi, what is Khadi? So देखो, whenever any fabric, as you can see in the picture, it has been spinned by the spinning wheels, or it has been extracted as a fiber from these wheels, or the, you can say, traditional such tools. This is known as what? This is known as Khadi. So your Khadi can be your made out of your cotton also. Means anything that is, any fabric that is handmade, that is Khadi. It can be cotton also, it can be silk also. Now there are some, other natural materials, as well as the fabrics also that are been included, artificial fabric also that are been included. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीजें आपके किसके अंदर आ जाती है? All this come under your Khadi, and we are focusing on their Vikas, their development. So what development can be done for them, right? First of all, if we can say, to provide them with good environment, like where they can do, right? For example, if you look at the in first case where this lady, she is spinning the fiber. Here you can see that she is doing outside her home, right? Because she does not have proper workspace. Similarly, what happens when a group is doing, they should have a proper workplace. So providing them with better workplace, right? To include more and people in the Khadi production, right? So that this industry can flourish, and also about providing them with good marketing capacity and skill, and also providing them with good sales outlet. What are sales outlet? Shops, shops and stores, all that, to provide them with good such facilities so that they can have remunerative business in this particular sector. So the scheme is all about that. Okay, so we are going to understand more about it, but let's start from the basics. So the launcher of the scheme is in the year 2022. Dekho, you have to keep in mind here, it was revised. Whenever any scheme has been extended, in that case we consider whatever be the initial date of launch, we always consider that only, right? But if any scheme has been revised, it means that there have been more information, either has been altered or has been added. So then the new launch year is considered. Okay, I hope you understand the difference. If any scheme has been extended, then the original launch year will remain that only, which was initial. But if any scheme has been revised, it means a lot of modification has been done, and that is why the new launch year is said to be there. All right, so launch year is 2022, and then apart from that falls under the ministry. We have also already understood falls under the MSME, because we are here focusing on developing the micro, small and medium enterprises, basically the micro enterprises, I would say, in case of the khadi industry. All right, and we also understood in last session when the overall khadi and gramodyog vikas yojana, when we were studying about it, ये किसके अंदर आता है? ये आती है आपकी, who is the implementing agency? आपकी KVIC है, जो खादी एंड विलेज इंडस्ट्री कमीशन है, that takes care of all the implementation that needs to be done under the scheme. Now when we say that what are the implementations that need to be done, so then we are talking about here whatever be the steps that we will take to increase the productivity of the khadi artisans and also to increase their wages. Means whoever laborers are engaged in this, at least this business should provide such remuneration that the wages of the people can be increased, right? Apart from that, what are the objectives? That is to increase the number of artisans, means we have to include more and people into the business, and also we have to improve the infrastructure. What is the infrastructure? Means the workplace where they will live, right? We have to improve that also, because you know you can't do these things at home. First of all, these the tools that are required here, they require a large area, right? And if we because we are talking about fabric, we are working with fabric, so of course when they the micro fabrics, they can get inhaled by the children at home, by other people or elderly people who are not engaged with it, and that can hinder with their respiratory system, right? So it is better to have the industries established separately. So we have to focus on the infrastructure development also. We have to increase the production and sales of khadi also. That is how the vikas or the development will happen, right? And we also have to focus on the marketing, not at national level, not only focusing on improving the stores, existing stores, or maybe renovation of the shops or stores they have, but also we have to take this to the international market, right? So tenure of this, so basically for now the scheme has been set to be run till 25-26, then afterwards it will be checked, like if it has to be extended or not. Now similar to what we studied in khadi and gramodyog vikas yojana, which is an overall scheme, please keep in mind there is an umbrella scheme with the name khadi and gramodyog vikas yojana. In that we understood that there are three components. One was related to gram udyog, so you can say from the umbrella scheme name only the components has been extracted. So one specific component talked about the gram udyog. The second that we are talking today, it talks about khadi vikas, right? And the third component was grant. So there is nothing to be separately learned on this concept, because whatever money has been provided, that there is a particular component that has been assigned. The people who are in that component will distribute the money. Okay, so we focused on only two things in the gram udyog we did in the last session, and where we understood there was not that much of the data that was there. It was just told how the government will focus on providing the better opportunities as well as infrastructure for small businesses. They will be trained to be electricians, to be do such other works, right? So there was no much of the data. In khadi vikas there is a little bit of data, and that is why we are today covering it separately. ठीक है, अब इसके भी अंदर now under this khadi vikas, this second component also, there are some components, sub components. What are these? The first one says modified market development assistance. There some financial assistance will be provided. What is the data, what is the data associated with it, we will understand. But abhi, to give you a general information, modified market development, right? We have to modify the opportunities. How that can be done? By giving some incentive or money to the people who are engaged in this business, right? Then only people will be attracted, and in fact the people or the artisans who are engaged in this business, they would go for better quality products, right? So that is why some financial assistance will be provided. Apart from that, what else is the case, right? For example, here if artisans, they want to take loan, like for example they want to expand their business, they want to go for better tools and instruments, they want to have better opportunities, right? Or maybe they want to expand their business in general, if we have to say, right? So to have now they would, for that they would have to take some loan, right? And the rate of interest are very, very high. So to make such reasonable a reasonable rate of interest, government has come up with this scheme, interest subsidy eligibility certificate scheme, where the rate of interest provided to such khadi artisans is at very nominal rate. Okay, next is about strengthening the infrastructure for existing. Okay, so again, like for example, if I have a shop, okay, or I have a store, right? So in that case, to strengthen that, right? For example, to have some financial assistance, so that if my business is like running below average, it can come back to normalcy. Or if I want to renovate my outlet, For that I have proper money assistance. ठीक है. Center of Excellence for Khadi, here what will be done, जो आपका National Institute of Fashion Technology, we have National Institute of Fashion Technology, now those will help in the Khadi sector or under the scheme, you know, to come up with good designs, to check the quality of the fabric, so that all these things can be improved, and the international market that we want to set up, in that case the NIFT will help to provide that technological support, or the knowledge, you can say technological knowledge that is there, that can be provided with the help of NIFT. ठीक है. तो Center of Excellence for Khadi, who will cater this, or who will back up this, NIFT. Okay. And lastly we have some other small different components. For example, Khadi quality assurance के लिए you can understand that this will focus on the quality, right? We are providing good quality for at the national and the international market. Market promotions, how the market promotion will be done, via exhibitions, right? So exhibitions will be set up, and government at international level, you know, they will come up with exhibitions, they will come up with various meetings, right, and conferences, seminars, where they will market the Khadi products of India, right? So that will promote as a market, they will act as a marketing promotion. Then science and technology scheme, so in this will basically focus on the research and development part, that how we can improve the Khadi industry in India. So for that, science and technology scheme has been added. Now here in this two we are not going to pay attention, because this we have understood that how NIFT is going to develop the, you know, all the designs, colors, and check the quality and everything for the excellence for Khadi. ठीक है, under this component, Center of Excellence for Khadi. There is nothing more to learn about it. And similarly, last one, it just you should know about these components. There is nothing much data for for example, in this we have understood, okay, exhibitions will be set up, seminars, conferences will be set up, right? So there's nothing much to study about it. Similarly, science and technology, just research and development will be done, right? So what are we going to do? The data that is provided in the first three component, we are going to have a look at that. Okay. We'll start off with the modified market development assistance. In this, basically, to attract people to start off with the Khadi business, some incentive will be provided. Okay. पहली बात aim क्या है? पहले aim समझ लेते, then we will look at what is the assistance that is provided. ठीक है. Aim क्या होगा? The money that is provided under this, that is for what purpose? कि technology upgradation आपका हो सके. ठीक है. First of all, this for developing new products, modernization and computerization of sales outlet can be done, right? So people are engaged in this business, they will be provided with some financial support, so that they can upgrade the technology that they currently have, they can modernize the sales output, you know, and if you do computerization, you can at virtual level, you can increase your market space, right? Engaging external marketing consultants or sales discount. ठीक है. तो मतलब कि all in all, if you look at in the developing new products, means in the production as well as in the sales, this money can be invested. And capacity building is what? Capacity building is nothing but developing the skills of people who will or who wants to get engaged in this particular sector. ठीक है. अब कितना पैसा मिलेगा? Financial assistance कितना मिलेगा? For cotton, muslin and woolen and polyvastra, these are the different types of, you know, fabric name. Okay, for them, what is the incentive or money that will be provided? At the rate 35% on the prime cost. What is prime cost? देखो, prime cost is included looking at how much money that has been spent to buy raw material. Okay, for raw material the person must have spent some material, right? Apart from that, from converting that raw material to the fiber, right, of fabric, then the processes must have taken place, right? The process puri hogi from that raw material to the time you have gotten the fabric, right? For that you must have some, you know, money must have been spent for the conversion, and in fact you might have taken labor as well, right? So all this come under the prime cost, and excluding apart from that, whatever expenses is there, it is not under prime cost, so it means it is not calculated to give off the money. Now what can be that? For example, I had taken loan to buy those raw materials, so now the rate of interest that I'm paying on that loan, that will not be counted as prime cost. Okay, I hope you understand. Prime cost only means the money spent on raw material, whatever processes is in between the process. It can be labor also, it can be, you know, other factors also, from conversion of raw material to that fiber fabric, whatever the expenses is there, that comes under the prime cost. Okay, so now the prime cost for a cotton, muslin, or you can say woolen or polyvastra, polyvastra or vastra means clothes only. ठीक है, इन वाले फैब्रिक लिए कितना कितना कैलकुलेट होगा, दैट वट एवर बी द एक्सपेंडिचर दैट यू मस्ट हैव डन ऑन द प्राइम कॉस्ट ऑफ दैट 35% will be given back to you by the government as incentive. So इसमें क्या हो जाएगा, थोड़ा फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस हो जाएगा. ठीक है, सिल्क खादी के लिए, सिल्क के लिए अलग कितना है, सिल्क के कह रहे हैं 20% आपको मिलेगा. ठीक है, बाकी के लिए 35% मिलेगा, सिल्क के लिए आपको 20% मिलेगा. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, whenever this the any scheme is launched, there is some money also that has been provided. ठीक है, अब इसमें ओवरऑल क्या बोला, देखो these two factors that you're looking at, that is on the conversion, the money that you're getting when you starting of it, right? But there are various steps, right? Not only conversion happens, but then, you know, it can be further, it can be gone for any manufacturing from that fabric, right? बहुत सारे उसके आगे भी steps होते हैं. ठीक है, so what has been said that overall money that will be allocated for modified market development assistance, उसमें क्या होगा, उसमें हम क्या करेंगे, जो खादी आर्टिसंस होंगे, please keep in mind again, this is the expenditure that you are doing, but this is apart from the expenditure that we are talking about, right? So it is the 35%, 20% on silk, 35% of cotton muslin, इन सब चीज़ों में, वुलन में, इसमें आपका एक्सपेंडिचर जो भी वो उसमें 35% लगेगा. बट एक नॉर्मल असिस्टेंस, एक नॉर्मल फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस आपको कितना मिल रहा है, incentive to khadi artisans, if you are a khadi artisan, you are getting how much assistance, you are getting 35% of the given assistance. ठीक है, खादी artisans को मिलेगा, silk वालों को 30 मिलेगा. 14% as incentive to कार्यकर्तास, कार्यकर्तास means people who will be engaged in this. ठीक है, artisans are people who are doing the business, who are actually, you know, manufacturing things, the labor you can say, khadi artisans can be the laborers, and कार्यकर्तास means who will be focus, who will be, you know, expanding or you can propagating the business. ठीक है, those are the कार्यकर्तास. ठीक है, उनको कितना मिलेगा, 14% as incentive मिलेगा. who are engaged in silk, उनको 10% मिलेगा, and 51% of the share of the khadi institutions. ठीक है, overall whatever money that will be allocated under the scheme, khadi institutions को उसमें कितना money हम देंगे, 51% उसको हम as an incentive we will provide them as their share. ठीक है, and for silk category it is 60%, और जो आपके नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट्स है ना, वहाँ पे तो आपका 90% दिया जाएगा. ठीक है, 90% का इंसेंटिव दिया जाएगा. दैट वाज अबाउट द फर्स्ट स्कीम. इन दिस आई वुड से जस्ट मेमोराइज दिस कि जो ये आपके 4 कंपोनेंट है, कॉटन, मुस्लिन, वुलन, पॉलीएस्टर, प्राइम कॉस्ट में कितना मिलेगा, 35%. वेरी सिंपल, इजी टू रिमेंबर. और जो खादी सिल्क होगा, उस खादी जो आपका आई एम सॉरी सिल्क खादी होगा, उसके लिए कितना होगा, 20% होगा. ठीक है, इसको रख के memorize this and now just keep that away. ठीक है, उसको आप अलग कर दो. Now coming to the next component, that how much, you know, overall एक financial assistance जो provide की जाएगी, overall कितना मिलेगा, इतना ही ध्यान रख लो. खादी इंस्टीट्यूशन को कितना मिलेगा, 51% मिलेगा, इसको ध्यान रख लो. बाकी का उसको इतना ध्यान रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. एंड सिल्क के लिए कितना होगा आपका, 60% होगा. ठीक है, बाकी आपका दिस इज सेम, तो आपको अलग से याद करने की जरूरत है नहीं, राइट? यू डोंट हैव टू मेमोराइज इट सेपरेटली बिकॉज इट जस्ट, यू नो, इट्स सेम ओनली दैट व्हाट वी अंडरस्टूड इन प्राइम कॉस्ट. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, एक कार्यकर्ता का यू कैन कीप इन माइंड कि उनको 14% इंसेंटिव मिलेगा टू एक्सपैंड और प्रोपोगेट द बिजनेस. नेक्स्ट इज इंटरेस्ट सब्सिडी एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया सर्टिफिकेट स्कीम, इन विच वी अंडरस्टूड दैट इफ यू हैव दिस पर्टिकुलर सर्टिफिकेट, इंटरेस्ट सब्सिडी एलिजिबिलिटी सर्टिफिकेट, you would only have to pay a minimal amount of loan, rate of interest on loan. ठीक है, अब कितना मिलेगा, जो आपको जो लिमिटेड अमाउंट देना, यू ओनली हैव टू पे ओनली 4%. सो एग्जांपल, इफ आई गो टू बैंक ए, देखो डिफरेंट बैंक्स विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग द लोन. फर्स्ट इज प्रोवाइडिंग एट 10%. ठीक है, बी इज प्रोवाइडिंग एट 11%, सी इज प्रोवाइडिंग एट 12%, एंड डी इज प्रोवाइडिंग एट हाउ मच, 13%. ठीक है, सो हियर व्हाट विल बी डन, ओनली 4% हैज टू बी गिवन बाय द बेनिफिशियरी दैट वुड अंडर द स्कीम, इफ दे हैव द सर्टिफिकेट, इफ दे हैव एनरोल्ड देमसेल्फ अंडर द स्कीम और अंडर दिस पार्ट, दे वुड हैव टू पे ओनली 4%. तो अब ये बाकी का 6% हु वुड पे, दैट विल बी पेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. ओके, और बाय केवीआईसी. ठीक है, क्योंकि इंप्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसीज जो केवीआईसी, सो मींस ऑल एंड ऑल दिस 6, if I am a beneficiary, there were 4 beneficiaries, right? One went to a bank. So there he paid only 4%, rest 6 was paid by the government. Here only 4%, so rest 5% was paid by the government. Here only 6%, so आपका 6% was paid by the government, and fourth one went to the D where 13% rate of interest, but he don't have to worry about it because he just have to pay the 4%, rest 7% would have been paid by the government. So इसमें all in all what you have to memorize, 4% will be given by the beneficiary, rest will be taken care by the government. Okay, I hope it is clear till now. First we did MDDA, in which we understood 35% or the prime cost on cotton, muslin, and then we had woolen and polyester. Then on silk it was how much? It was your 20%, right? And then apart from that we understood the second one, which was about the interest subsidy, and where we understood it was how much the beneficiary only have to give 4%. Now workshed scheme. So workshed, it talks about the place where this work will be done. So there should be a proper place where working can be done. So this we have talked about initially, right, that there should have separate place where that needs to be done, and it should not be done at home, right? So for that also some financial assistance has been provided. ठीक है, now objective तो चलो ठीक है समझ गए, to provide a better workplace, ठीक है, उनको better workplace play, to carrying out their spinning and weaving activities also they can do efficiently, okay, to provide some storage space where they can keep the raw material, implement accessories, semi-finished or anything, because if they're doing everything at home they would not have a proper place to live, right? So for that purpose this scheme came into action. And what is the assistance that is provided? Now construction of individual workshed. It can happen that individual people, or you can say at home level, or they are engaged in this activity, or maybe they are doing that in a group, right? जैसे cooperatives होते हैं, cooperative societies होती है, if they are doing in that way, right? So there are two type of subsidies, or you can say financial assistance that is provided, one at the individual workshed level and another at the group workshed level, ठीक है, and these both are including toilets also. So if you want to construct an individual workshed, in that case either because you will come with a project, right, that this much space we are taking up, ठीक है, तो कितना देंगे उस प्रोजेक्ट का, either up to 1,20,000 you will get for the construction or for the workshed, I'm sorry, or either the 75% of the cost, whichever is lower, okay, whichever is less, that will be taken into consideration. मतलब कि आपका up to 1,20,000 तक maximum मिलेगा, but if your overall project for example is of 1 lakh, तो उसका 75% तक देंगे, सिर्फ 75,000 आपको मिलेगा, whichever is lesser in between the two, और या फिर if you come up with a 5 lakh plan, तो 5 lakh का 75% ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, right? So in that case what will be done, only 1,20,000 will be provided, ठीक है, this is how this goes, ठीक है. So और नॉर्थ ईस्ट केस में कितना मिलेगा, 90%. अभी तक हमने क्या समझा, in workshed we have understood for the construction of workplace some money is provided. In the case of individual, how much, either 75% of the project cost or up to maximum up to 1,20,000, whichever is lesser in that money will be given. अब ग्रुप के केस में थोड़ा कम है, ग्रुप के केस में 75% तो ओके सेम है, बट यहाँ पे 80,000 पर आर्टिस्ट है. Why? Because you can understand when you come in group you can club or save your own money also, which you can invest, but in individual case there are when you're individually going for it, you can contribute lesser amount of money from your end, but if you're going from a group, so of course some a little bit money from everybody can be saved and it can be utilized, right? So that is why here per artisan की cost कम थोड़ी कितनी है, 80,000 आपकी रखी गई है, ठीक है. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट एरिया भी देखा गया है कि पर यूनिट एरिया कितना, मतलब यहाँ पे 20 मीटर स्क्वायर इन केस ऑफ इंडिविजुअल, और यहाँ पे 10 मीटर स्क्वायर पर आर्टिसन के हिसाब से एरिया हैज बीन प्रोवाइडेड, हैज बीन कैटेगराइज, ठीक है. तो असिस्टेंस वर्कशेड में कितनी मिलेगी, 75% कॉमन इन बोथ द केस, लेकिन इन केस ऑफ इंडिविजुअल वर्कशेड अप टू 1,20,000 तक असिस्टेंस मिलेगी, बट इन द केस ऑफ ग्रुप वर्कशेड 80,000 तक पर आर्टिसंस की आपको इसमें हेल्प मिलेगा. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट स्ट्रेंथनिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. अब आई विल अगेन रिवाइज सो दैट यू डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. एमडीडीए में कितना था, 35% ऑफ प्राइम कॉस्ट ऑन cotton, wool, and then apart from that wool we had, muslin we had, and polyvastra we had, right? 35% percent of the prime cost. In case of silk 20%, just keep that in mind. Next we came for what? Next we came for the rate of interest. Only 4% has to be given, right? Next we came about the workshed, okay, workshed construction. So for individual either 75% of the project cost or maximum up to 1,20,000. In case of group construction, okay, where 5 to 15 has been given the category that group includes 5 to 15 people, in that case 80,000 per person will be provided, ठीक है, 15,000 per person will be provided, or the 75% of the work cost, whatever is maximum. I hope it is clear till now. There is no confusion. Now let's come to the next part, which talks about the existing institution that we had. Okay, so in such cases what will be done? Agar koi institute hai, like it's going average, there are a little bit of here and there lacking that is there, 15 lakh will be given to them to bring back them to normalcy. It means that they are still functional, but there are some financial support that is needed to boost them. So in that case 15 lakh will be given. But if there is proper renovation has to be done of the departmental outlets, or KI is your what, Khadi institutions, ठीक है. अगर इनका proper you have to do the renovation, in that case 25 लाख per sales outlet आपको provide कराए जाते हैं, ठीक है. यहाँ पे 25 लाख का assistance है. Bring back to normalcy, it means it is functional, right? So that is why lesser amount is there, 15 lakh is there. But proper renovation has to be done of the sales outlet. In that case कितना तक का आपको मिल रहा है assistance? 25 लाख तक का मिल रहा है, ठीक है. Now key features that we already know, ठीक है. Key features first क्या है? It is a component, ठीक है. एक सब component है किसका? Umbrella scheme was Khadi and Gram Udyog Vikas Yojana. We understood in that only there were 3 schemes, and today we focused on the Khadi sector. And earlier before the scheme, and we understood in the last session what happened. There were many individual schemes that were going on, like tens and 50s of not 50s, that would be a bigger number, but yes, around tens of schemes for only Khadi development, and tens of schemes just for Gram Udyog development. So everything was clubbed under one component back in 2019. But now what happened? So similarly, whatever activities that used to be carried out under the Khadi component, that was later on merged under it. So these are the only key features that you have to keep in mind, and that is all. That was all in this particular video. I can see Fani, good morning. Yashvendra, good morning. Raj, good morning. Subhash, good morning. Okay, I hope you have all the clarity. I know there was a lot of data, that is why I tried to revise it time and again, so that it can be embedded in your mind. Do let me know if this technique worked, and if we can follow it in the further sessions as well. And yeah, so if you want me to cover any scheme, do let me know. For more such sessions, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also join our Telegram channel to get the PDF of this and every lecture that we provide here on YouTube. And if you have any query, you can also comment it down. I'll reply to that. And that is all. Thank you, and study hard. We'll meet again with another important scheme in news. Until then, all the very best for your examination, and thank you. In the last session there were some suggestions that were there, so definitely I'll suggestions on the scheme that I should come up with. So definitely I'll do that, and I'll come up the session. I'll make sessions on that. So thank you for watching, and all the very best for your examination.